A&E research, Rich speaking.
Yeah, that's just it.
Motorcyclist versus lorry. They're coming in by the air ambulance. Estimated time of arrival is about 5 minutes. Suspected head and chest injuries. A motorcyclist has had an injury with a HGV. You anticipate the absolute worst.
Ready to brace and move. And lower, fantastic.
When we hear a patient is on the way with a head injury and they're having a seizure, we really need to work at pace to try and find out exactly what's going on. Patient's here.
Ready, steady, lift.
Right guys, this is Daniil. He's 20 years old. He collided with HGV lorry. We believe he slid under the lorry. He had only helmet and no other protective clothing. He has blood coming from the left ear and he's just had a seizure on the pad. It's lasted probably 1.5 minutes. He's had paracetamol, ondansetron, morphine, fentanyl, and he's just had 2 midas on the pad.
Thank you very much. Danny. When a patient with a significant head injury becomes unresponsive, it can suggest that they have worsening bleeding around the brain. Danny, open your eyes, mate.
Don't know any details. We just know what something very serious happens. He not wake up. I'm very scared because I think something happens with his brain.
Go ahead, make sure scan's ready, let them know we're on our way. Cheers, Ollie. Traumatic brain injury is a leading cause of death amongst injured patients, so it's imperative that we go straight to the CT scanner and get the neurosurgeons involved if he needs an emergency operation. Daniil's a 20-year-old male who was brought in by air ambulance. He'd been in an accident involving an HGV and a motorcycle. He ended up underneath the HGV.
Hello, Daniil. Can you open your eyes for me?
He had a head injury, and on his way down from the helipad, he'd had a seizure. His conscious level's dropping, he's not particularly responsive. All of this is pointing to something really, really bad going on inside his skull. Now that we've intubated Daniil, it's really important for us to try and get him to CT scan as quickly as we can. Our biggest concern is he has bleeding on his brain.
Every day when he go to work with his bike, every time I'm thinking, please not today. And finally it happens. 2 police cars came to our house. They say, you better sit down.
Breathe in and hold your breath.
Every second was like an hour.
Obviously, it's incredibly distressing for a patient's family. So there's a lot riding on us finding out what's actually going on and getting the right treatment started early.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Loss of grey-white.
I think he's got a small amount of subdural as well
Yeah.
there.
The CT scanner shows that he's got some bleeding within inside his brain, some bruising inside his brain.
His lungs are not very nice at all, are they?
I think that's contusions, isn't it?
The way that looks, the density, I think that's blood.
He's also got bruising to his lungs. He's also broken some bones in his spine as well. Right to you then. He's still in a very precarious position. And all our treatment efforts at the moment is to try and make sure that the brain stays healthy and doesn't get any further injury from the effects of the bruising. He'll be kept asleep on the intensive care unit, and over the next few days, we'll be able to try and assess whether we have irreversible neurological damage. Daniil was involved in a serious road traffic accident. He'd sustained a lot of injuries, but we were most concerned about was that he'd had a significant brain injury and bleeding in and around the brain. He was admitted to the neurointensive care unit where he's kept in a medically induced coma so that neurosurgeons could monitor the pressures of his brain. The team have woken him up a couple of days ago and are now assessing to see if there's any ongoing neurological damage.
Good morning.
Morning, Danny.
Morning. How are you, Daniil? How are you feeling?
Feeling alive.
Do you know where you are at the moment?
St. George's Hospital.
Correct?
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah, fine. We've had a discussion about the situation this morning. The repeat CT had
Yeah, showed minimal bleeding.
minimal bleeding, improving. The brain bleed is improving. And then one of our hand surgeons will see you in clinic, okay? You've got good, well done, okay?
Thank you so much.
Trauma is typically a male disease, so globally it affects more men than women, predominantly of males under the age of 50. It tends to be because of the activities that men do. Motorcyclists are incredibly vulnerable.
Undoubtedly, Daniil has been very lucky.
4 days with ventilated lungs. I was too scared, and on the 5th day he wake up.
I was on a motorcycle and apparently I went into the side of a lorry or something like that. First thing I remember is me waking up in the hospital and to my mum. That was the best feeling. I know she cares very deeply about me, and if she loses me, that'll be the end of everything for her. She means the world to me.
Don't remember, but when he woke up, he asked me why we in China. I was very scared because I think something happens with his brain. The main thing is alive, and after 1 week he already walking, talking, eating and everything. This is not miracle, you know. We guys just know what to do, and they saved my son. They like heroes.